Kuwait. And if you're just tuning in, you're watching KTV2, the family channel. And our guest that we have right here in the studio, we have live with us Sara Alawadhi. And Sara is from Kareq8, and she's a volunteer with them. Sara, welcome to our program, Hello Kuwait.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Nice to have you with us right here in the studio. And maybe you could start out by telling our audience, what is Kareq8? What are you about?
Kareq8 is basically a group of animal lovers who volunteer in rescuing animals in need in Kuwait and finding suitable and forever loving homes and families to adopt them.
Yeah, there's a lot of stray animals on Kuwait,
Yes,
huh?
yes.
We'll be getting into that shortly. But so, what does CARE stand for? The letters K-A-R-E.
Kuwait Awareness and Rehabilitation Education.
And this is what you try to do
Yes.
with this group, right?
Yes.
Okay, good to hear that. So, tell us, when were you established and so forth?
2013, 4
Okay.
years ago.
4 years ago. And what was the reason for that? Are you all a group of animal lovers? And
Yes, we want to
give
help.
us some background, a little detail.
We want to help as many animals as possible. We see stray cats and dogs all the time in Kuwait, and they're not supposed to be on the street. They all deserve to have a home and a family, and especially the injured ones that should not be left out there. So we try to do what we can.
Okay, so how does that process go? I mean, let's say you're now in the studio. Let's say you're going to your home. You see an animal, you try to take care of it. Tell us about the process of helping these poor dogs and cats here in Kuwait.
Well, we try to educate people and raise awareness in regards to how to look after them. Of course, it depends on the animal and the age itself. So whenever someone reports to us that there is a cat or a dog that is injured and needs help, what we do is we usually post a picture or a video or on our social media accounts. And we either go to rescue it ourselves, or if we're unable to at the time, we usually expect someone to help us by either volunteering to sponsor that case at the animal hospital or fostering it, which means that they keep it temporarily until we find a forever home.
And usually when you find these animals, you must take them to the vet, right?
Yes, because the animals that people report to us about are mostly injured ones, so they need immediate help.
Okay, so what are most of them? Are they mostly stray cats or dogs? What do you see most here
I
in
think
Kuwait?
most of the cases are cats here, but there are lots of them. Stray cats, stray dogs, and injured ones. You wouldn't imagine how many there are, and how many cases we come across on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's very sad, Sarah, huh?
It is.
Okay, so tell us more about your group. How many members are you? Are you males and females? A little more about your group, please, Sarah.
We have members who are there from the beginning of the group, which are 3, and volunteers. We have over 10 volunteers, and both boys and girls, and we have volunteers from all ages. I think the youngest volunteer is 10 years old.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
and we welcome volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. So
yeah, it's good to teach young people, how to love and
Of course.
respect
Compassion.
the animals,
Yes.
the compassion.
Mercy.
Tell us more.
Mercy, yes, that's something we always try to spread by what we do and our social media posts, and even people who come to visit us, where we usually are at Pet Zone every Friday for Adoption Day. We hold what we call...
Yeah, tell us more about that.
Yeah, we hold...
Where is Pet Zone?
Pet Zone is in Al Ray area, close
Okay.
to the avenues.
Okay.
So we're there every Friday from 1 to 6 p.m. to hold what we call Adoption Day, where
And what is that? What do you do?
we bring some of the cats and dogs, because we are never able to bring them all. We bring some of the cats and dogs that are for adoption, and people usually come and see them if they're interested in adoption or joining our volunteer team.
And when they adopt, it's free of charge, right? If they see an animal they like, they can take them, right?
Yes, but we have
Some
certain
criteria?
Yeah, we of course, yes. We have to interview them first, and if they meet our conditions, which I'll get to in a bit, we usually allow them what we call foster week. So they sign a foster form and they take the cat or the dog to make sure everything goes well. And after that, if they decide they want to go for it, they come back in a week time and sign adoption form.
Okay, that's really nice that you're doing this. So you get a lot of people that come on Friday?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Okay, tell us, I think you have a website, very interesting and user-friendly website. Tell us about that, Sara.
Yes, we have a website. It's Kareq8.com, and we are on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Kareq8, Kareq8. Instagram is the most active social media account or platform where we usually post all the pictures and the videos and even updates of the animals that have already been adopted in Kuwait or abroad. So you see maybe 5
updates on a regular basis, huh?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we post daily. It's crazy.
And when you said abroad, what do you mean by abroad?
There are a lot of people who follow us from outside Kuwait, and a lot of them have already adopted cats or dogs from us.
So even the people abroad can adopt, but that's a long process, isn't it?
It is a long
process. To get them out of
process.
Kuwait and there, right?
Yes, yes, but it's totally worth it, especially when they keep sending us photos and videos of them. It pays off, all the hard work.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Sara, tell us about an experience that you may have had with a dog or cat tell us where you found them and how you helped. Tell us a personal experience.
I remember there was a cat once that was reported in a very, very bad condition. It was unable to move. And I think I was the only one able to go to the location at the time. So I asked the person to send me the location and the address and everything, the information I needed. And I went there. Of course, it wasn't easy. The element of time is the most pressuring thing at times like this, because you feel like you need to make it as soon as possible before the cat dies. So
especially this hot weather too.
Of course. And I tried to make it. I had a bit of a hard time finding the house at first, and then finding the cat. And then I found the cat in a box covered in a towel or something like that. And it was barely able to move. I'm sure if it was able to move, it would have run away because it was very, very scared. And I managed to take it, and I made it in time to the animal hospital, thank God, and the cat was okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You feel really nice when you do something like that, huh?
Of course. It's very fulfilling, very rewarding.
Have you always, since you've been small, really love animals, Sara?
Yeah, I have. I have to thank my mom for that.
Okay. Well, you like cats or dogs most, or both?
But I think I love all animals, but I'm more of a cat person.
Okay, that's great. So tell us more about this adoption process. Tell us about that process, please, Sara.
Yes. So basically, the requirements we usually try to meet is making sure the person has to be above 21 years old. Otherwise, their parents have to be there, and we have to make sure they're okay with it. Other than that, we make sure that the animal, whether it's a cat or a dog, is kept inside the house and not in an isolated room. So it has to feel like it's a member of the family. It has to mingle with the other members of the family. If the family decides to travel, for example, we have to make sure that they have a place where they can keep the animal and not abandon it or sell it or bring it back to us. For example, if the family already has a cat or a dog, we have to make sure the cat or the dog they already have is spayed or neutered, because all of our rescues are. So we are trying to stop this problem.
Population of animals.
Yes, that's one of the main problems. Yes. So, and of course, one personality differs from one another when it comes to cats and dogs. So some cats are not okay with having other cats at the house. Some cats are not okay with kids. So we have to make sure we cover all of these aspects before we give them.
What are some issues or problems that you may face doing these things, Sara?
Well,
in general,
we don't have a shelter. Let me start with that, which is not really a problem because we're not very fond of the idea of a shelter itself.
All the volunteers, I think, have the animals at their homes, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's a good thing, but at the same time, we're not always able to host.
Sure, so many animals.
Yeah, so sometimes we have to
feed them all and everything.
Of course, and the space. So sometimes, in order to be able to rescue a cat or a dog, we depend on someone volunteering to foster it before we can do anything. The other problem is that we don't have a sponsor, and our medical bills sometimes reach a certain point where the animal hospitals refuse to admit any of our new rescues until we settle the bills. So we are based on donations basically, and we come across a lot of people who abandon their pets a lot of people who abuse stray animals. And a lot of people tend to say that we should focus on human rights instead of animal rights, which are both great. I mean, they're two different things.
Sure.
I truly believe that we will never be done with human rights in order to move to animal rights. So they're completely different things.
Things that are parallel. All these different human rights,
they
animal
complement
rights
each other.
organizations
Yes.
working, everyone hand in hand to
Exactly.
make this world a better place for everyone.
Exactly. And the animals can't speak for themselves the way people can. So someone has to.
So you guys are the voices for these animals here.
Yeah.
That's great to hear that.
Thank
And
you.
what are some of the other frequently asked questions that people may ask when you interview potential adopters? Requirements, conditions. Tell us a little bit more on that, please, Sara.
Yes, the frequently asked questions are the questions we ask potential adopters, which are some of the things I mentioned a few minutes ago, but we also tend to make sure that whoever is interested in adoption, for example, does not have a history of an animal before that they have sold or given away, or an animal that has run away from them. These are some of the questions that we make sure to ask before we allow someone to sign any form or adopt any of our rescues.
And do some people are allowed to adopt more than one pet?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh, the more the merrier.
Okay, so it's allowed to do that. Huh?
Yeah, sure. As long as the animal's personality is okay to have another animal at the house, then why not? Yeah.
And your group, anyone that comes on Friday always has the possibility to adopt, correct?
Yeah. Most of them are there because they want to adopt or they want to join the volunteers team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how can people get involved volunteering? What's the process?
There's not much of a process. Basically, anyone is welcome to join us. How someone can get involved with Kareq8, they can either join the volunteer team if they want. They can volunteer to sponsor a case so that we can help treat them at the hospital. They can volunteer to. They can either volunteer to sponsor or foster a case, which means that they keep the cat or the dog temporarily.
So you need that also, huh?
Of course.
People that provide like foster homes.
Yes,
huh?
yes, temporary homes until we find someone who wants to adopt a cat in Kuwait or abroad, or dogs, of course.
Okay. So that's so nice that you have this, as I was saying earlier, this process where you have followers from abroad.
Yes.
They follow
Yeah.
and they even. So you've had successful cases of people adopting from
Many,
abroad.
many.
Can you tell us examples of where and so forth, please?
Yes, we've had people adopt from the United States.
Wow,
Yes,
all the way from the
all
US.
the way from the US.
That's great.
Actually, I have to mention that the US Airlines is one of the airlines that makes the process easy to actually board the
Yeah,
animals.
some airlines are very animal friendly, right?
Yes. So that's a big help. We've had people adopt from Canada. We had people to adopt from Holland. I think the UAE also. So we have friends from all over, and we're so grateful that we get updates and pictures, and it's great. Very
And you
happy.
keep that updated on the website,
Of course,
the Instagram,
of course,
of
yes.
how the animals are doing,
Yes.
wherever they may be
Absolutely.
in the world, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's really amazing. I mean, you're doing such a fabulous job,
Thank
you
you
and
so
all the group at Kareq8. And now, the best way if people want to reach you would be to come out Friday, or tell us more details
Yes.
about that now.
They
Some
can-
people are watching; they'd like to join, help
Of course.
out.
Yes, of course. We are at Pet Zone, as I said, in Al Ray area, next to the avenues. You are more than welcome to come any Friday from 1 to 6 p.m. or you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat. It's all the same username, Kareq8.
One word.
Yes, Kareq8. And the website is www.kareq8.com. So that's how people can reach us. And
Okay.
we also have an email.
That can be found on the website, I think. Huh?
I think so, yes. It's Kare Kuwait,
Okay.
Kuwait @gmail.com.
All right. Well, at the end of our interview, Sara, do you have any last words for our audience watching Kareq8?
The only thing I can say is adopt, don't shop. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. It was a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
have you on
Thank
the
you.
program. Wish you all the best. We were speaking to Sara Alawadhi, Kareq8 volunteer, wishing her all the best of luck. Right now, let's move on to our next report, which is dealing with nutrition. Stay tuned.